All right, so let's conclude this section with what get versus post means when using Flask make view. So it said right here, get gets a page and post a form. So you need, when you have a get method, you need to have a HTML template that will display a form. And then when you post the data from that form, you need a route and a controller, but you don't need a template. You need a route to say where you're going, and then you need a controller to process that incoming data and store it in your database, right? And that's what we did with this example here. We have our get method, which is the create, and then we say ice cream. So now Drew has an ice cream recipe, and then we are going to click the create button, and that will post the form and then redirect us back to the index page, which is another get. So get, post, redirect. So then when we look at it in our code, what we have is we have the get. So let's go. We started with the create HTML page. So this is our HTML page. Let's go to routes. So here is our get. So that's the index. We actually started here. So here's our get. And then, so this goes to recipes create. So if we go to the controller, recipes create, we're getting a list of, in here, we're getting a list of all the users so that we can put that in the form, right? And then the form has a post to recipes store. So that produces that URL, so which is going to be a recipes store. And if you inspect your browser, you should see just /recipes. Let's actually go and do that. So we'll inspect here, and it shouldn't be too, there it is. The action is /recipes. You see it right there. Okay, so if I go back, so then we are going to store on the post, which goes through this controller, RecipeController.store. So RecipeController, and then the store method. And so store reads that information from the request form that we need, gets whatever thing that it needs to off of that, and then builds the new asset, in this case a new recipe, and then stores that recipe in the database, and then it redirects us. You can redirect yourself back to wherever you want, and this is the happy path, right? If there was something wrong with the form, then there should be some kind of validation and redirecting you back to the create page where you can see the errors. That's outside the scope of Flask Commands. Flask Commands is just helping you wire this up. And this is really just almost, this is like a training in just Flask itself, but had needed some kind of overlap on giving you actual use cases in these RESTful actions. So you're going to store in your database, and then you're going to redirect back to the index page. And so when you do that, the index page gets all the recipes and sends them to the template, the index template. And so in index template, we just iterate over the recipes and we list them. And then if there weren't any recipes, we say no recipes yet. So once you have submitted the form, we go back here. And so that is the entire life cycle for get, post, redirect. And hopefully it makes sense now why a action that has a post does not create a template for you, but it does have a route and a controller. All right, we're going to now dive into something that I'm really excited about, which is the nesting resources. And this is an area where I spent a lot of time really working on Flask Commands to make it do what it should do, and how you can structure your project so that when you come back 6 months from now, you will be able to read your project. All right, I look forward to seeing you in the next video.